What if I told you that highlighting is a lie? That the way you've been trying to remember what you read is not only useless, but actually killing your memory? Shocking, right? You thought that fluorescent yellow marker was your friend. It's not. It's the enemy. Think about it. How many times have you read a book, underlined half of it, and then never looked at it again? How much of it actually stuck? Be honest. Almost nothing. And that's the real trap. You think you're working? You think you're learning. But you're not. You're just decorating pages with ink. If you want to actually remember what you read, you need to burn it into your mind, not just smear it with color. So how do you do that? First, stop trying to multitask with your brain. When you're reading, just read. Don't scribble in the margins. Don't underline every second sentence. Read. Sit with the words, then stop. Close the book. Let silence hit you like a wall. What did you just take in? Can you repeat it in your own words? Not the author's words. Yours. That's the test. That's the hook that makes memory stick. Let me paint you a picture. You're in a lecture hall. The professor is talking. Rapid fire. Dropping insight after insight. You're scribbling notes, trying to keep up, and you realize you didn't hear half of what he actually said. Because you were too busy writing. What did you learn? Almost nothing. Now, imagine the same lecture. This time you just listen. You lean back. You let the words hit. Afterwards, you sit with it. You write down what you remember. Suddenly, you're not just transcribing. You're practicing recall. And recall is memory's oxygen. Reading works the same way. A book is not a tattoo you etch onto paper. It's a conversation with your own mind. Read a page. Stop. Close it. Ask yourself what mattered. How does it connect to what you already know? Do you agree with it? Could you argue against it? That's the secret. The memory isn't in the words. It's in the connections. Think of every idea as a hook. The more hooks you attach it to, the harder it is to lose. Picture your memory as a room full of windows. Every new idea you take in, you throw it through one of those windows. You don't just let it float in. You decide which window it belongs to. You attach it to that view. That's what makes it retrievable later. If you just highlight the words, you haven't thrown them anywhere. You've just admired them for a second and walked away. Let's get unsettling for a moment. Most people don't remember because they don't want to. They consume books like fast food. Quick, greasy, forgettable. Do you want that? Or do you want a meal that stays with you, that nourishes your mind for years? Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you can't explain it in your own words, you don't understand it. You don't own it. You're just renting it from the author, and rented ideas vanish fast. There's a moment you can test this. Close the book. Put down the lecture notes. Ask yourself out loud, what was that about? Can I tell the story back to myself? If you can't, don't panic. That's the moment memory is built, because now you wrestle with it. You reformulate it. You drag it into your own language. That's when it becomes part of you. Here's the kicker. Recognition is weak. Recall is strong. Seeing a highlighted line later and saying, oh yeah, I know that, is recognition. It tricks you into thinking you've learned. But being able to pull the idea out of the air, unprompted, and explain it, that's recall. That's real memory. And the only way to practice recall is to force yourself into it again and again. Let's drop into a scene. You're sitting at your desk. The book is shut. You're staring at the wall. You're pulling at the memory of that last chapter. It's slippery at first. Then a sentence comes. Then an idea. You scribble it in your notebook. But it's not the author's sentence anymore. It's yours. That shift is everything. That's when you've truly learned. That's when you'll be able to stand up a week later and explain it to someone else without notes. That's when knowledge sticks. So stop pretending with highlighters. Stop doing pseudo work that feels safe but does nothing. Read. Think. Close the book. Wrestle with your memory. Write it back in your own voice. Attach hooks. Build connections. Repeat. It's not glamorous, but it works. And it will separate you from everyone else who just flips pages and forgets. Imagine your mind as a web. Every book, every lecture, every idea is another thread. Weak notes fall through the gaps. But strong recall ties the threads together until the web can hold weight, until it's unbreakable. That's how memory becomes power. So here's the deal. The next time you pick up a book, resist the urge to highlight. Instead, close it after a few paragraphs. Ask yourself, what did I just read? Can I say it out loud in my own words? Can I argue with it? That practice is the whole game. And if you do it, you'll stop forgetting. You'll start owning. You want to remember everything you read? Make it yours. Don't just read. Transform. Don't just recognize. Recall. Don't just consume. Connect. That's how you stop being a passive reader and start becoming someone who actually thinks. So take this seriously. Start with your next book. Practice recall. Build those hooks. And then tell me right now in the comments one word, remember. Like this video, subscribe for more, and let's change how you learn. Remember is the key.